File sharing is an essential part of working with a client, especially as a podcast VA or as a podcast audio editor. Since you will be sharing files and different documents, it's essential that you make use of a tool that will seamlessly sync those files on both ends of the client and at the same time your computer. Now, there are different tools that are currently available for us, and three of the major tools that we're going to talk about is Dropbox, Google Drive, as well as OneDrive. So in this first video, I'm going to share with you how to share a folder in Google Drive. Just a very important reminder before you start sharing. Remember that if you're going to make use of a Google Workspace accounts, that is, you have your own personal domain. Say, for example, for me, I have my personal domain, which is florantevaldez.com. It is highly recommended that you have your client share their folder with you instead of you sharing or creating a folder and sharing it with them. The reason why is because basically if you have shared a folder to someone who is outside of your organization, you will not be able to transfer ownership of that said folder. Now, if you are making use of a Gmail, then there shouldn't be any problem since you can transfer ownership if you are making use of Gmail. First and foremost, I have here on my screen my Google Drive, and what we're going to do is we're going to create a new folder. And from here, I'll go ahead and name this as Podcast Sidekick Files. Okay, once you have created the folder, you can go ahead and right-click on that folder and then click on Share. Then you just go ahead and type the email address of the person that you're going to share this folder with. So for the permission type, you can go ahead and choose Editor. Then once you have that set, you can go ahead and click on Send. Again, here you will be reminded that if you're sharing to a different organization outside of the domain name that you have, you will be given this message on your screen saying that you are sharing outside of your organization. You just go ahead and click Share Anyway. Okay, once that is shared, they can just go ahead and accept it. And right, so if you're using, both of you are using different domain names, you will both get the notification that you're sharing to an outside organization. And as I've mentioned earlier, if you are going to share a folder to someone who has a different domain name as your email address and make them an owner or transfer the ownership of that folder, it will not push through if you have different domain names. So what's best is for your client to create the folder and share it with you, and that way there will be no complications if for some reason the project ends and they have to unshare those files with you. So now I'm ready to share files and documents to my collaborators for Podcast Sidekick. Now, just a couple of tips for those who are making use of Google Drive. You can reduce the space that your Google Drive is taking up on your computer by making it online only. So say, for example, right here on my computer, I can go ahead and go to my Google Drive. And for example, for this project that I have all about podcasts, you will notice that there is a check mark. Now, this means that this is available offline. So even if I don't have internet connection, the file is still available for me. However, if you see only the cloud icon next to the folder or to the file, this means that this one is only available if there is internet connection. So it's online only. So this file, although you can see it on my Finder or my File Explorer, will still have to be downloaded before I can see the file in this folder. So practically, you are saving space. However, if you need files immediately on your computer, whether there's internet connection or not, then I would suggest that you go ahead and right-click on that folder, and available offline should be checked instead of online only. And what will happen there is that it's going to sync and it's going to download the file from the cloud, so it will be available on your computer anytime, even if there's no internet connection. So that is how to share a Google Drive folder and how you can save space on your computer by making use of the online and offline access.